Is Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu stronger than ever? While the world was busy watching the US elections on November 5th, big political changes were happening in Israel at the same time, where Prime Minister Netanyahu chose that very day to fire his Defence Minister Yoav Gallant. Now, the two have never gotten along, but when Netanyahu previously tried to fire Gallant in March of last year, popular outrage forced him to backpedal. But this time around, that wasn't the case. And now, with former generals Benny Gantz and Gallant out of Netanyahu's war cabinet, the main military obstacles to his control have been removed. One of the main reasons for Gallant's removal was his opposition to the government's stance of exempting ultra-Orthodox or Haredi Jews from military service, given that they make up a key part of the government coalition. Over a year into a multi-front war, Israel's military needs have put a strain on its small population, making the issue of the ultra-Orthodox draft exemptions politically explosive. Gallant said that he and Netanyahu had also disagreed over a ceasefire that would free the remaining hostages in Gaza and a state commission of inquiry, basically an investigation into the government failures on October 7th. With Netanyahu arguably looking to prolong the war to protect himself from political scrutiny and looking to maintain the support of the ultra-Orthodox community, he needed to remove the military and security officials in his way. So, who's replaced them? Well, politicians who answer to Netanyahu. First is Israel Katz, Netanyahu's new defense minister, despite never having held a senior military position. Katz's critics argue that he was picked due to his loyalty to Netanyahu and lacks the required qualifications for the job. Netanyahu's new foreign minister is Gideon Sa'ar, whose party, New Hope, recently joined his governing coalition, bringing it up to 68 out of 120 seats in the parliament, a much wider majority. As part of the agreement, Sa'ar's party is not allowed to vote against bills that exempt ultra-Orthodox Jews from the military draft. Since Gallant's firing, there have also been rumors that Netanyahu may go after Israel's military chief of staff, Herzi Halevi, and the head of Israel's security agency Shin Bet, Ronan Bar. Very little stands in his way if he chooses to do so. Netanyahu, or his new defense minister Katz, would simply need to recommend their firing, moving it to a cabinet vote. Now, Netanyahu has also managed to remove opposition to these measures in his own ruling Likud party. Last week, the coalition whip, Ofer Katz, sanctioned Likud lawmakers Dan Ilutz and Yuli Edelstein, who also believe that ultra-Orthodox Jews should be made to serve in the military. Both were banned from submitting bills for a month. Removing his obstacles in the political sphere, Netanyahu has also gone after his obstacles in the legal sphere. Last week, he asked his justice minister to find a solution to dealing with the trouble caused by Attorney General Gali Baharav Miara, who opposes his delays of his corruption trials and several of his government's policies. On Monday, Netanyahu filed to postpone his corruption trial from December to February, saying that the Gaza war has made it impossible to prepare for his testimony. Developments abroad have also boosted Netanyahu's confidence, with Trump set to return to the White House in January. After complaining that the Biden administration had chosen to intervene in Israeli democracy and not cooperate with him, Netanyahu's finance minister and settlement leader Bezalel Smotrich welcomed Trump's victory on Monday, calling it an important opportunity to apply Israeli sovereignty to settlements in the occupied West Bank. Senior pro-settler figures central to Netanyahu's political support, such as Naomi Kahn of the settlement lobbying group Regavim, hope that this could mean formal Israeli sovereignty over Area C, which would essentially mean annexing 60% of the occupied West Bank. So, with the opposition in Netanyahu's cabinet, party, and parliamentary coalition removed, loyal figures given senior positions, the legal process attacked, and Trump coming back into the Oval Office, Netanyahu and his pro-settler, ultra-Orthodox political base seem comfortably in control. Over a year on from October 7th, the question then remains, is there anything that can stop Netanyahu and his supporters from carrying out their apocalyptic vision for Gaza and the West Bank to its conclusion?